system, or you could be clearing a certain neighbor using its IP address. You could be doing debugging as well to view events or view the keep alive messages being exchanged. Couple of things I want to show you before wrapping up this video. I want to show you that from router 2 perspective, we have multiple neighbors, right? We have router 1 and router 3. This is the command I used, show IP BGP summary. It shows a summary for BGP, things like router ID, autonomous system, okay, and it shows this table for neighbors. Okay, this is a condensed version of the neighbor table for BGP. One thing to notice is whenever you are to apply a policy to a neighbor, changing things in configuration, it's better to shut down the neighbor relationship, because actually you might used a lot of command to configure a neighbor relationship, as we're gonna see in the upcoming sessions. So you don't want to remove the neighbor completely. You could just shut down the neighbor. For example, let's go over and shut down neighbor router 3. So to do this, you're gonna use the neighbor so and so shutdown command and hit enter. This way this neighbor relationship will be in down, specifically will be in administratively down state. And if you are to view the neighbor table again, you'll find that the neighbor is idle administratively. So the admin used the shutdown command to disable this neighbor relationship. And any time you want to bring back the neighborship, you could just use the no form of this command. Okay, and give it some time, it will come back up. And to verify this, you could be using the show IP BGP summary command, and it says that the neighbor relationship came back like 6 seconds ago at the time of using this command. So this is one thing. Another thing is at router 1, if we are to show IP BGP, I should be receiving information about the 172.16 network and 192.168.2.0 network. Okay, what will happen if I have these network in my database? They should appear in the routing table, and indeed they do. But the thing is, BGP has administrative distance of 20. What will happen if I have another source for the same piece of information? For example, I have a route to the network 192.168.2.0/24 through a static route, which should be preferred by default, and this static route is pointing to wherever, fast Ethernet 0/0, whatever. Now the router will be preferring the static route over the BGP, and it should be yes, indeed, the route through or being learned using static route will be installed instead of the BGP learned route. This way, if we are to view the database of BGP, we'll find out that yes, we know about this network and we have two different paths. One of them is internal or using iBGP and the other one is not, but we have the R code, which means that we have routing information base. Routing information base is simply, in other words, you could be using the name for the routing table. So we have a failure, okay, for this entry. This entry will not make it into the routing table. Why? This is because that we have higher administrative distance being used by BGP, higher than the static route that is only using administrative distance of 1. Show IP route 192.168.20/24. Now this route is being learned via static and has administrative distance of 1. Okay, and this is of course better than using administrative distance of 20 for BGP. So these are multiple ways to verify your BGP configuration and verify how exactly a route being learned and why a route being learned from one source did not make it into the routing table. Okay, and actually I believe there is a nice command called show IP BGP RIP failure. Yes, this is the command, I guess. This command shows if there is any failure. Okay, and it says right here that the network 192.168.20 with an next hop of 12.2 has failure because actually it has higher administrative distance. Okay, so this simply says why exactly this entry did not make it into the routing table. So this is for verification. Let's try the clear. I should be seeing two neighbors, right, from router 1. To verify this, I'm gonna use the show IP. Yes, show IP BGP summary. I can see two neighbors. I have received two prefixes from each. To clear all neighbor relationships, I'm gonna use the clear IP BGP all asterisk, enter. Now we're gonna see that the neighbor went down because of user reset and they came back up again. Okay, and to verify that I have a relationship between these routers, I'm going to use the show IP BGP summary command, which shows condensed version of the neighbor table, and it says the neighbor relationship came back up 14 seconds ago and I have received two prefixes from these routers. Okay, so in this session we talked about an introduction to BGP being an EGP, exterior gateway protocol, used between autonomous systems, used between ISPs over the internet, and it is actually the routing table of the internet. We also talked about how the internet really works, tier 1, 2 and 3 ISPs, how they are connected, or actually how the internet works in terms of we have public IP addresses, and these public IP addresses being assigned to ISPs, and ISPs assign IP addresses to their customers geographically. And We talked about how to verify who owns or who currently have the IP address or the domain name. Also, we viewed the looking glass servers to view BGP relationships between different autonomous systems internationally. We also viewed the internet routing table. Okay, actually we used looking glasses to view the internet routing table and internet database, BGP database. We talked about internet connection options, being connected to the ISP using single connection, or being dual homed or multi-homed or even dual multi-homed. And we agreed that in single connections we do not use BGP because there is no need to. Just like your ADSL implementation, you only have a default route that is pointing over to the ISP. The amount of updates you could be receiving default routes, or you could be receiving the whole database or the whole routing table of the internet. And a trade-off could be receiving partial updates of the BGP internet table plus default route to reach other destinations. We also talked about how BGP really works, what kind of messages being exchanged, neighborship states. We talked about configuration for statically configuring neighbors, how to inject routes using the network command, and how the network command being affected by the auto summary, which is disabled by default on BGP and Cisco iOS. We also talked about redistribution as a method to inject routes into BGP database, and how routers exchange BGP updates, okay, from time to time or whenever the need arises. And finally, we talked about verification and troubleshooting for BGP updates, neighbor relationships, and getting information into the routing table. I hope that this session have been easy for you. All information mentioned have been all information mentioned. Okay. Anyways, all information I said has been that valuable and that clear. I hope to receive comments from you just to make this easiest and in the easiest form possible to everyone everywhere. Please drop us a line at Easiest.com, and see you soon at the next video. Take care.